Hello, I'm Andy Summers. I'm the Senior Ranger with High Life Highland, and today we're going to talk about the Bone Caves. The Bone Caves near Inchnadanf in West Sutherland.
This is Anfurin, one of the springs on the Alpna Uv, and as we've been coming up the river, there's been quite a lot of water coming down, but just above us here, the river's completely dry, and if you didn't notice, you'd wonder, where is all this water coming from? It's actually soaking up from underneath here.
This is actually the biggest area of limestone in Scotland. Limestone was created 500 million years ago, believe it or not, up in the northwest. This is our youngest rock, and it was formed when Scotland was coming into collision with another big continent, and the ocean in between was slowly disappearing and evaporating, and all the sediments and all the minerals went down to the bottom and crystallized out and formed this limestone. That allowed these big caves to form, which we'll see later.
So this is us up at the top of the Bone Caves. So the last wee bit's a bit steep, but and there's a bit of a drop to the side, but it's a good path, and spectacular when you get here. It really is. Let's have a look. This is the cave that the famous geologists Ben Peach and John Horne found in 1889. They're doing their sort of mapping exercise all around the Assynt area, and normally after 3 days they would take a day off to go fishing, and of course there's not much lochs around here, so they did some exploring, and luckily they found this Reindeer. This was originally now called Reindeer Cave, and this is what they found. It would have been right to the top of the sediment, and they dug out, or they got their staff to dig out all the sediment and found, I think they took away 1,000 bits of antler, 12 sackfuls, so that's how it got its name, Reindeer. This is the longest one. You can drop down in there and you can go way along in there, but yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted. So this is a replica of the actual skull that was found here of a polar bear. The bear bones were found in 1927, and it was only fairly recently that they looked at these bones and identified them. They thought they were brown bear, and this turns out actually it's a polar bear. It's the only polar bear that's ever, as far as I know, has ever been found in Britain. DNA is showing it to be 18,870 years old. So it's a fair age. The brown bear and a polar bear are actually really hard to tell apart from the skeleton. They've still got this ridge along here. So we don't know how the polar bear got here, but it's quite a spectacular find, isn't it? Look at that teeth. And they've found such an array of different animal species, it's quite dramatic. This is the only place in UK where they found wild horse, where they found northern vole. It's one of the few places where they've got northern lynx bones, wolf bones. The thing about all these animals, once they carbon date them, they can actually tell what was around when, but also what the climate was. So obviously you're not going to get badgers and foxes when it's like the climate's really cold. Similarly, when you get reindeer and polar bear, you know, you're going to think it's going to be like a tundra-like conditions. The Bone Caves are a protected site. They're an SSSI, Special Site of Scientific Interest. So we want you to treat with care. Please don't drop any litter, don't deface the walls or anything like that, and please no digging. It's a really special place, and we want to leave them in the pristine condition they are at the minute.
The Bone Caves is one of our really special walks, guided walks that we do. It's part of a whole calendar of events we do around the North Coast 500. So if you want to book, yeah, go ahead, you'll get a special treat with the Ranger service.